So, good job.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Melrose, you work within the youth sector, and you've worked with within the youth sector for quite a while now. What drove you into this arena?
Okay. I'm a parent myself. I have 4 children. 3 of them have dyslexia. And so I was helping them academically. Anyway, it's not easy to be a parent. It's not easy to have dyslexia. And what drove me, well, something quite by chance, tell you the truth. And most of the time I do like to take chances as well. So my son was involved in a project, very reluctantly, because he didn't want to join. But I told him, well, try a meeting once. And if you don't like it, then you don't go. But at least try it.
Yeah.
So we went to this meeting, he liked it. And he kept going. And at the end, this was a group for young people with dyslexia. It was part of a project.
All right.
And at the end, they had formed this friendship between them that they wanted to continue to meet. So they did. And I was one of the parents, the mummies, who actually took my son or my daughter to these meetings. And I used to just do some errands while he was at this meeting. And merely by chance, I just got involved in the admin of this group. Just to do some meetings, because they used to do talks in school themselves about dyslexia. So it was like the young person with dyslexia explaining to students and to educators what it means to have dyslexia.
Mm-hmm.
So it was something that was very powerful for them to do, because these are young people aged 13 and 14.
Yeah.
They were really young, but they wanted to outreach so much. They wanted to do this. Look, we're fed up that educators sometimes tell us they don't know what dyslexia is. We're sometimes feeling ashamed to say that we have dyslexia when it shouldn't be, because it's just another profile. Anyway, they did this outreach, and I started to get involved in the admin by contacting schools, making the appointments, because it's something I was good at doing anyway. Then the group wanted to explore European funding.
Okay.
And it was something, and that was the first time I heard of Erasmus+. And I said, okay, what's this? Anyway, just because I was involved in the admin part of the group, which wasn't a full-time job, far from it.
Was it voluntary though?
Sorry?
Was it voluntary though?
Yes, it was voluntary.
Okay, all right, okay.
And they thought of a name, so Dyslexic Teens Dialogue was the name that they gave the group.
I remember, yeah.
It was very important to put dyslexia in the name, dialogue, because they wanted to talk about dyslexia. In fact, their motto was, let's start a conversation. Because by starting a conversation, like I'm doing with you, we're going to exchange, we're going to learn, and we're going to become different people in the meantime.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were working through contacts we had with university, and they put me in touch as well, not only me, even the other parents. They were 11 young people at the time. And anyway, we started to explore this European funding, what it is, what youth exchange, what it would be. I started to go to talks to inform myself, to enter into this new world of European funding. And we wrote a project, myself and somebody else from university, which wasn't funded. And we were given the reasons why. I can see now that it was like not really up to standard, but it was, we learned what we shouldn't be doing. So that was very useful. And then I wrote another one after that, based on what we learned, and it was actually funded in 2015. We partnered with a group from Italy, from the north of Italy. So there were 11 of these young people, the founder group of Dyslexic Teens Dialogue, and another 11 young people from Italy.
So they did an exchange?
And it was funded, and I remember when the results came through, and I said, oh my God, I've never done this. What have I done? Because I'm very impulsive. It was very exciting, learning about how to apply, and it was very exciting for me to learn, because I love learning. I wasn't working at the time. I was at home bringing up my children and supporting them academically. So anyway, at that moment, I still remember the feeling.
Yeah.
My blood went from my head down to my toe.
Oh, sure.
And I said, okay, let's do this, step by step. Anyway, and we did this youth exchange. I managed it along with the group of adults that we had, because in every youth exchange, there's a group of young people, and then there's the supporting adults who make part of the team. I mean, you can never work on your own, but you work as a team.
Yeah.
But we did it, that project, It was successful, so we had a week in Malta and a week in Italy.
Okay, very nice.
And it was these 11 founder members and 11 young people from Italy. And they were talking about what works, because even the project was named Let's Have a Conversation. They were talking about school, what works, what would they like to say to educators, what would they like to say to parents, to be supported better, what do they want to scream about, what are they pleased about. So it was along those lines. In the meantime, my youngest had grown up. They finished fifth form, that was 2015, and it was always my dream to study, to go to university. So I did, and because I started getting involved with young people and I found that it worked, like the compliment I received this morning, I said, okay,
all right, you're
so
doing
I'm
good.
enjoying this, and young people are enjoying being with me, so that's a wow. So I enrolled in Youth and Community Studies to do a degree. So I said, okay, if I'm going to study something, I'm going to study something that's relevant to what I'm doing, and maybe I can develop it further.
Yeah.
So I started part-time at the University of Malta, doing Youth and Community Studies. That was 5 years. Then I continued to a master's degree, which I finished now, but this was in teaching and learning.
All right.
So I continued along these lines anyway.
As DMTL. Yes, okay, all right, okay, all right.
And in the meantime, I coordinated a project in 2016. Just coordinated, I didn't write it myself. Then I wrote another project, which was implemented in 2018.